Welcome, guys, back to the Watchlist podcast. This is episode 21, and we're discussing the film Dracula by Radu Jude. Um, it's a generative AI incorporated film. The entire film is not AI, but
hmm
the appeal of this movie with me and Luke was we wanted to discuss AI, and this kind of felt like the best place to start basing it around. And it's a really talked about film. It's not as watched as it is talked about, mostly because there is prominent AI in this film, which is really crazy. Luke will talk about the intentions by the director a little bit later on, but first we're going to talk about our actual opinions of AI in the art space and the creative space in film.
hmm
What do you think, Luke?
Anti.
Push it on you first. Yeah, we're both
Yeah,
anti. I would start there.
yeah.
Obviously, it's a heavy subject as technology is advancing, and we're seeing a lot more AI being incorporated into films. Paul Schrader is a big pro AI guy now, right? He's
Yeah.
Paul.
I
Paul
mean,
Schrader's talked about how a AI could write a better script than him, which is completely not true, because Paul Schrader is a great script writer.
yeah.
Um,
And
I don't
I
know.
mean, Darren Aronofsky is even younger and he's now huge into it. Recently, Martin Scorsese started, you know, investing and, partnering with a storyboard AI focused company. So for pre production, a lot of old filmmakers are doing it. And I kind of understand and I kind of sympathize with the old people who are kind of, trying to embrace it, even though I think it's stupid and like they're wrong. But I kind of
Yeah,
am more understandable because I think they've had so much technology over time that they kind of just have to adapt and learn to adapt. And that's kind of been their methodology for like years. And they just kind of see it as new tech and like, oh, it's new
yeah,
tech. We have to learn to use it. When I just think that position lacks a lot of nuance and is
yeah.
just harmful, and it's kind of become this thing. You know, I mean, Tilly Norwood, I think today just got announced she's in her first movie. There's going to be an AI feature film. I don't, who knows if that like becomes if people take that seriously at all. You know what I mean? But I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, I fit into the camp where it's like, what is the point of using, like, the point of, we'll just say art, creating art in general is to create it. That is what you get out of it. Like, that is why you do it. It isn't for this product so that people, like it and like you or whatever. It's the process itself, right? And so when you kind of cut corners and like have ChatGPT write your script or have generative AI fill your images, it's kind of like that. I think you don't enjoy it. You're because if you enjoyed creating it, you would create it. So why are you
Yeah.
doing it? It makes no sense in a field where it's like you have to be passionate about
Yeah.
creating art. And so it's always bizarre to me. I really feel there's no excuse. I mean, obviously there's the moral and environmental consequences that come with it, and I even think like, and I think you can make an argument without those things even, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, those things are very important and should be taken seriously. Yeah, what about you?
I don't know. I've seen like recently like Google giving money to A24, which to me was a
Yes.
huge shock
Yeah.
because first of all was the amount of money they gave him was
Yeah.
$75,000, which is jack shit.
Yeah.
And why is A24 taking 75 grand from Google to do AI research for film when A24 is all about human creation? I'm on the side, I agree with everything Luke just said,
Mhm.
but just to add a step further,
Yeah.
I think art inherently through the process of creating art is like the human connection that we have to the world, right? The world is like a big influence on what's created, and personal experience is a big thing with that. And things change throughout the play, like through production, through pre-production, through post-production. All three of those change the story dramatically, right? Like nothing is, it's not as simple as writing a prompt and it's done,
Yeah.
right? Because then the trial and error is completely taken out of account.
Yes.
Like because part of being a human is trial and error, and you learn what's good and what's not. This doesn't work. This does work. This character is really impactful, and this one isn't. I'll take
Hmm.
this character out. Like those little things. Like I mean, I have experience doing this, right? I have experience writing scripts. I just finished my first short film. I know the experience of your creative process changing the outcome of what is shown on screen or on page,
Yeah.
right? So when we're doing AI, it's really sad to see. It almost feels like taking the soul out of the art, right? Art's existed for since the beginning of time, and we've always been. There's a reason art is so loved in our social standing is because we can connect to it in a different way. When you see an AI picture, there's like no like I could
Yeah.
never imagine an AI picture or painting in the Louvre. Like that just sounds so bizarre, right?
Yeah.
And I think what I really hope, like I heard something Ben Affleck was on Joe Rogan and
Hmm.
he was talking about how it's kind of dramatized, right? That AI is going to take over the film industry or art industry, right? He feels like it's going to plateau, right? Because it costs a lot of money to make these AI. It's like not environmentally friendly, like you said. And I think from what I've seen mostly, there's a lot of negative connotations from the public on AI made films, right?
Yeah.
Whether that be um, the late night movie, I forget what it's called.
Yeah. Late Night with the
The late night
Devil.
with the devil.
Right.
Like even then, it had like two or three shots of AI, and it was a still frame
Yeah.
picture, and people hated on that movie just because of that, and
Yeah.
that's such a small thing. I can't see a fully AI film being made
Right.
and it being widely accepted or making a ton of money in the box office. I don't think it's going to be profitable for people in the long run, and I think it'll start taking it back. And I hope to God Hollywood like bans it at some point. I don't think they would ban it, but I think it's going to be looked down upon by like the public, which is like what I really hope happens. I saw a new movie premiere at a festival, and it's like an animated film, and it got booed the entire time because there's
Right.
AI in
That
it.
was through
And
Alamo. Was that like through the? It was just.
no, it was no, it's a film festival in Europe that it just premiered at
I
once.
thought it was some movie theater was doing
Yeah, Alamo is doing an animated
animated, and I
AI
think
feature.
that one got in it. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
And then it
Okay, yeah.
it sneaked it like they accepted like that one, and then that became a huge controversy that they, would accept that.
So it's really bad, and as like a Alamo moviegoer, it really sucks.
Yeah.
But with what I'm talking about, there was like an animated feature and it looked epic or whatever. Um, and the director was talking about how he doesn't understand the discourse because it's all hand drawn. And he's
Right.
like, the only thing that the only AI thing was to fill some backdrops. This is the dumbest thing ever. This is what I heard from
Yeah.
him. He said that they drew the entire movie
I think he
and then they
himself
gave
did or
it,
something.
yeah, and they gave it to AI,
Yeah.
and then AI used that to make an AI film.
I I
What are we doing?
I didn't know that. I thought it was just it was like pretty much all hand drawn, but then there's like AI on top of it or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
there's like
that.
AI on top
Either
of it,
way,
but
it's like just
it's
don't
like,
do
what's the
it.
point? Just
Like
don't
you've
do
done
it. Your
so
movie's gonna be
much.
loved.
Yeah, like it's
Like,
probably gonna look better if you just didn't do that.
yeah.
It's a weird
I
thing.
mean, you look at animated features like Loving Vincent or
Yeah,
Red Line, and I was talking about this with my brother. Loving Vincent has like 80,000 hand-drawn frames,
yeah,
right? and Red Line has 100,000. And it's just like those movies are really widely accepted to be great films. And we're going to take that away with what we're gaining towards. It just feels really dumb. AI feels useless to me. It doesn't have any heart and soul. So I'm very negative at. But Radu Jude did Dracula, and it's very interesting because from what I've heard, I might be wrong with this. He made the AI film to criticize AI. Am I right in a way with
So
that?
it's complicated because basically I think watching the movie and having the experience watching the movie, it's very much satirical and it's very much kind of, I really came away with the interpretation of, AI is this thing that's kind of mocking humanity or kind of in this weird like game of telephone with humanity where um, you know there's a lot of like strange stuff in Dracula, but where the end of the movie especially makes you feel like longing for like something real, right? Like some real kind of connection or something with a soul, but I listened to some interviews with Radu Jude, who made the movie, talk with Adam Naiman, interviewed him, and basically he kind of is a little more moderate when it comes to his feelings on AI, and basically kind of said that the reason he made Dracula is it started from kind of this he would try to get other movies made, and he would be like, well, if you do this one, I'll give you my script for Dracula. He lived in Transylvania, right, like Romania, um, and that always caught people's attention, which they even kind of make a joke about in the beginning of the film. And so he kind of started researching Dracula and was just going to make something. And I think then he got in touch with this composer, kind of music AI guy or something, and through talking to him was interested in the technology and wanted to just utilize AI in some way, kind of out of a place of, I mean, he this is kind of a quote from him where he's like, you know um people say there's like all these like moral and controversy or like difficulties with AI, and he's like, and he's like, and there is, but that comes with any technology, any new technology, right? And he's kind of just like, it kind of sounded like he was gonna use AI, and it was just he used AI because he was curious about it, is kind of what he kept saying, which is, it's and the most interesting thing he said was kind of how he talked about Guillermo del Toro. Wait, he said the great filmmaker Guillermo del Toro can go out after making this, multiple $1 million movie budget movies and come out and say fuck AI, and that's kind of like easy for him to say in the space he's in, but he's Radu Jude said that he lives in a different world, a smaller budget world, and it's not as easy to deny that sort of thing, right? So like pretty crazy, right? Um,
Yeah.
which I don't think is a good excuse, but it is like watching the movie, you come out with this interpretation where I'm like, this guy probably is super like fuck AI, and let's
Yeah.
make a movie about how AI sucks, but it doesn't seem to be his feel. I mean, I'm sure he feels that way, on some level, but just maybe in the way he feels, it allows him to feel comfortable enough to actually use it for a movie,
Yeah.
right? Where he
Yeah.
doesn't feel the moral implications. I don't think he cares. Um, so it's strange. I'm not sure. I liked his,
Yeah.
hearing what he had to say about that. It was disappointing. I hope he doesn't like really use it in the future. Um,
Yeah, that's what I'm really interested about is if seeing his like next feature. I mean, if I guess you'll tell, like if he has AI in his next feature, it's just kind of wraps
yeah, no,
at
yeah.
that point. Like it's just like, oh boy, we lost another one.
Yeah.
Um, this is this your first Radu Jude?
Yeah, it is. And I never Radu Jude always just didn't seem like a filmmaker I would really be into. Just something I just like, aesthetically and kind of looking at them, I wasn't really interested. But this movie, I didn't love the movie, but it's so different. It's so, it's a kind of filmmaking I've never seen before where I'm interested to watch more.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with his. I don't know. It's weird because it has AI in it, but it feels very natural in moments where it's just like he does these weird things where he'll do like a zoom in really close to some
Yeah,
characters.
some iPhone zooms.
Yeah, and he's not afraid of the grain, and you can tell it's on this different stuff, and there's always something wacky on the screen, like no matter what. Like the biggest thing was the guy's back of his head, which was shaved, and he has like a full mustache and like a
Right,
head, and
yeah.
he's standing in a circle, and he's
Yeah.
standing the other way, and it's the back of his head that's looking in, and you can kind of see him like nodding, and it's just like this is so bizarre, and it's really fun. You can pick apart every frame of like what's interesting about it. Um, when it comes to the AI portion of it, why I thought it was like very anti-AI was the actual scope of the way it's used in the film, right? We follow, you begin with this guy sitting at a desk and he's acting as the director,
Hmm.
right? And which I don't know, it's a really weird idea because it kind of feels episodic in a way of the film. Um, and the main storyline of like he's like, "Oh, we're following a Dracula, but it's not an actual Dracula. It's a guy who just dresses up as Dracula."
Yeah.
So it's not a real Dracula film, which is very interesting. But the entire movie, you're going back and forth by him saying, "Oh, we'll go back to my film," and then he'll go back and he'll be like giving like two sentence prompts to this AI who's
Yeah.
having a conversation with him,
Yeah.
and then you'll see these little excerpts of AI films, I guess, or AI implemented films. They're not,
Right.
the portions aren't all
They're
AI.
kind of
Like you'll
fake
see like
AI. They're
they're fake
he's
AI.
really making it but trying to make it seem like AI did it. And not that
Yeah.
it looks animated. It's he's actually filming it but kind of like, saying a prompt and then just showing,
Yeah, and then
funny
it
stuff.
goes, which confused me at first. I was like, is this AI? Because this looks really good. But then it'll cut to like the most
Yeah.
egregious looking animation things.
Right.
And you're like,
For like
oh,
the
okay, this is
exterior or the establishing
yeah,
shot will just be this
yeah.
ridiculous like AI
Yeah,
generated.
or like there's like the what I thought like I want to call it famous, but this movie's not famous at all. But
Yeah.
like to me in this movie, the most overwhelming one was the car crash scene where she jumps out of the
Right.
car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just see the AI, her just like sliding on the thing, or he's like driving really mad and he's like driving in a river and it turns to that.
Yeah.
So it'll cut back and forth between AI, and it's don't be fooled like me at first. I eventually got it, but you'll know when it's AI.
Yeah.
Like you will know when
Yeah.
it's AI. It's blatantly
It's
obvious.
trying to be
Um,
obvious. But I
yeah,
think
it's trying to be
that
obvious.
that works in a very interesting way where maybe you're starting to be into the story, right? And then it'll cut to AI at like at a moment and then it ruins all like authenticity, right? Just immediately, which is kind of, informative in and of itself. But
Yeah,
then even like trying to be like, I mean, he even said like he Radu Jude said he would try to AI ask AI for some like to make something for the film, and it wouldn't do it because it's too like sexual, or it's like we're gonna kick you off if you like keep asking this shit. And he was like, so then he had to become his own AI, and then which I don't know if like it's just like you're
weird.
I don't know. Yeah, he's a strange guy. I don't know. But he was like, I
Yeah,
basically had to become my own like AI and do like dumb stuff, kind of. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Which
Which
I guess shows the limitations of AI creatively, which is
sure.
interesting. Um, but I don't know. I think the framing of the movie of what's I mean, I want to talk about like the actual guy who's playing the director, right?
Yeah.
He's going back and forth, and I think that's very apparent to me of why I perceived it to be anti-AI was this guy kind
Yeah.
of facilitating things, which I appreciated because it'll go back and forth, and he goes, "Okay, let's go back to my thing," and we talked about the creative process, and the he starts out in the beginning of the movie talking about like how he can't come up with an idea, right?
Yeah.
He can't come up with an idea, so he wants to use AI to like make these ideas for him. But it's interesting because he's giving the AI prompts, so he has an idea. It almost seems like lazy, like this guy is just lazy. He doesn't want to make it, and he'll do a lot of things. Like he'll look right at the camera, and
Yeah. Talk to the camera.
he'll be like, I want to. We're in the middle of the film. They might be bored. Let's give them a musical,
Yeah.
right? What satisfy the viewer? Those kind of lines really stuck with me of like, oh, this guy thinks that the real filmmaking is taking too long or is too boring, and he's using AI to give us like a shot of heroin, basically, right?
Yeah.
He's like, let's just give him a shot of film. And I was like, oh, that's really an interesting idea because that kind of puts you in the mindset of these people that are pro AI.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier,
Absolutely.
they're more worried about the viewer than they are about the art or themselves
Yeah.
or how their experience impacts the art they're making. And it kind of makes this director character really interesting and kind of what I felt like a mirror of Radu Jude, right? Of like his perception of AI or
Yeah.
his ant or his mispr like the the opposite of Radu Jude, right? It could act as both in certain moments. Like it could be like, oh, this is what Radu Jude's feeling, or this is what Radu Jude's against, and he's exploiting that on screen for us to make it very obvious why AI is a bad thing, which is what makes this movie so confusing to me, especially if it's
Why?
like pro or anti AI. It's just
Really?
like I don't know what to make of it because there's this weird things going on and the morals of the story are weird and some shots of the AI like there's some shots of the AI that they're not good but they're like funny and entertaining
Right.
in the context of what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because it
Which
works, I think is kind of what
it,
you're saying.
yeah,
Where like
yeah,
it's but
it
it I
works.
think it's mocking it. I think it's so
Yeah,
clearly anti-AI, despite what I
yeah,
said about him. It is so clearly mocking this and talking about, yeah, I mean, it's like what you're talking about. The director is clearly this like moron who's like, oh, let's give him, and it's like, oh, let's put in a bunch of sex and like make it like, I like how, the AI is kind of a gooner and like always has to put in like some like erotic thing, right, to keep it, because that's kind of like the slop you see like online or like whatever is like fucking, some like gooner like slop AI or some like weird shit that like that's what it's just become this like that's what I think AI can get like quick, you know.
yeah. Well, there's also a moment where the director responds to what was just seen as a very erotic scene. He goes, "That's like way too erotic. I didn't want that." Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
director even that.
Exactly.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's a really fun movie to tackle and to watch. And the movie immediately begins with AI. Like it's doing all this like different versions of Vlad the
Yes.
Destroyer or whatever, right? And it's just
Impaler.
like doing this and it gets you right in the face of just like, oh, okay, we're
Yeah.
starting straight up.
It's kind
And
of
I like
scary. It's
woke
just
up.
like
I was like, what and every AI thing, it just feels off. Like
yeah.
it feels really weird and
Yeah.
off. Like the guy explained with the car, like her jumping out of the car is just like but it's funny. Like I'm watching it and I'm just like, this is really funny.
Yeah. I mean,
It,
there's
it not in a way where I'm like, oh, this is it's weird because in the moment you're not like, oh, this is AI, this is really bad. I'm laughing because it's bad. I'm
yeah.
laughing because of I'm laughing because it's so strange to like put it in that spot and it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it is like the way the body is moving is like super strange, and
Yeah.
then it'll cut to like her on the side of the road, and it's back to like actual filmmaking. And you're just like, this is like really funny to just like that's the scene he's putting in to put AI. I don't know. It just makes the movie entertaining in a way to where you're kind of like pointing at the screen. You're like,
Yeah.
you're mocking it with it, I
Yeah, I
guess.
mean, but it feels self-aware, right?
Yeah,
It
it
feels
feels
like
self-aware for
it's
sure.
making fun of it, and there's not. It's like there's not a ton of generative AI, like you know, like most of the movie
Yeah,
is clearly like actual film stuff, and he actually wrote. He didn't use ChatGPT to write the script, but what it's appealing in the way like I it goes to kind of the most narrative part of the movie, which is the real Dracula, right? Kind of like the theatrical thing, and it's like there's fake people and everything just feels strange, and I kind of
cardboard, the cardboard people
yeah,
throughout the
there's
film or
yeah, yeah, and just everything feels like the way people are talking is just so strange, which is kind of off like makes the movie kind of like lame. Like there's like I don't know, like a lot of the movie is just not that interesting because it's eh, and I kind of was like, okay, I think they're trying to be like bad. They're trying to make like a bad movie because like AI can't make something good, and so it's being this like weird, incoherent kind of um, whatever. And so, but that kind of then I'm watching that for like 3 hours mostly, um, and not that it's all bad, but it's like so enough of it is interesting, or like the movie is interesting and definitely keeps you thinking like what the hell is going on, what is this like trying to say, but then it is this conflicting thing where there's AI and it's like, oh, it might be funny, but then it's like it's also is this like a super appealing, not really, like no, but it's working in the text, but is the rest of the movie working? Not really for me. Like it was something so strange is he hoped that people would be scared by the movie is what he said. Like he hoped it was like a scary Dracula movie. um I don't
like that.
see any point where you could be really.
No, no.
um
It feels too satirical to
yeah.
get to of that at all. I was wondering your opinion because there was a portion in the first half where the guy who plays the director literally asks AI to reenact Nosferatu in AI. I was like, oh, Luke is probably like clenching his fists right now that they're even touching this.
Well,
What do you
no,
what do you feel in that in that regard?
I
You know
think
what I
it
mean? Like
works. I think it works
Radu Jude
because
touching it.
I mean, it's basically like Robert Eggers' movie, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's this. I think it's actually really smart because it's kind of like, oh, we're doing another remake, right? And Nosferatu is obviously so great. It's like this great, classic, and kind of every Dracula movie that came after, is influenced or references or whatever in some way the Murnau's Nosferatu, and so kind of this dumb director being like, okay, let's just AI this one, right? Let's make like let's fucking right, like the ignorance of the idea of doing that, I think is a really smart satire, in the reality of so many Dracula interpretations happening, and
Yeah. Doesn't he mention that he likes Murnau too? He's like, oh, I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
touch this. Oh, I really like him. It's
yeah,
like, okay, fine. And then AI just does it anyways.
yeah.
And it's like a weird voiceover. It's like a really strange voiceover of like just shots from the original Nosferatu. And it's just like, oh, he looked this way. And it's like,
You're right.
he did this. It's like, this it
Because they're
just
trying
makes
to
the
make it
movie.
like palatable for like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I really like the director, like throughout. I think he's always the most interesting and like part of the movie for me. Where every time he
Yeah.
came back, I was like, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Whereas like I don't care that much about them like chasing around the Dracula. They would,
And
they did this like
that's the
Dracula
whole
hunts.
bulk of it, right?
Yeah,
It does that the entire time and is doing a bulk of it. And I think that's a poor choice of like a setting to do it in. Um,
I don't really get it.
I like the way it starts, maybe. Like I kind of, but I didn't know it was going to be the whole deal.
Right.
I kind of like the way it starts. I thought it was just going to be like another episodic thing, but it just ends up being like, let's check back in on those people and let's see if they escaped. Like
Yeah.
just like shit like that. It's like I really could care less
Yeah.
about these people. But when it first began, it's like, oh, this is really weird, and I think that's especially it being like the first intro to Radu Jude, because everything before that was the AI thing, and then you start with the narration, and then you go right into that restaurant that does like these erotic things. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I really like this. This shows me who Radu Jude is, and I really like this section, especially them like bidding off them to like go sleep with them in the back, and it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I kind of like this. It's like it feels like a restaurant, and it feels like no one wants to be there. It's like these performers are really annoying, but they're still getting bids for this like ugly old guy. It's like, okay, this is like kind of quirky and weird, and
Right.
like it's the fact that these citizens are even playing this game to go chase after them is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is like a really funny concept that people actually care about this. Like this is what people in Transylvania modern day are doing with their Friday night, right? They're going to this restaurant to go chase down this Dracula or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. And all the Vlad stuff too, like there's a portion where it's like Vlad going back to his hometown.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's just like really ridiculous. And he's like
Yeah.
denying things he did or
Right.
didn't do. It's like, oh, I did that. And they're like, okay,
It's
whatever.
like a
And it's like, no, I
museum.
didn't do that. Yeah, it's like, no, I didn't do that. And they like kick him out.
Yeah.
It's like a funny concept and it's like really
Yeah.
quirky and weird. And that's like, I love that in cinema. And overall, the entire movie is like something you've never seen before. And I appreciate that with every movie ever.
Yeah.
Like any movie that pushes boundaries or whatever, I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying the AI is what pushes the boundaries. Like
Yeah.
even like the actual, I'm
Yeah.
saying
No,
like
the
even the actual
filmmaking,
filmmaking
the
is pushing
structure, it's
boundaries.
bizarre.
And I'm like, oh, this is so strange.
Yeah.
And I mean, the AI adds to that a little bit, but that's like not the part that I'm really
Yeah,
appreciating.
the AI feels more specific to like this singular film versus like the
Yeah, yeah,
style is something so unique,
yeah.
right?
Which is why I think I'm gonna get more into Rowdy Jude. I'm interested to see some of his other stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Like Bad Luck and the Looney, like that
Hmm.
movie has
Yeah,
always looked interesting to me. But I don't know. I would you suggest people watch this movie?
definitely not the average
Yeah,
Joe, not like my
yeah, not the average.
coworker,
Yeah,
but I would say if people are, I don't know who the hell I could recommend this to.
yeah.
um,
It's very experimental. It's
yeah,
insane. It's really long. I felt the runtime a lot during this. There's portions. I mean, even episode like I have a problem with episodic stuff anyways,
hmm,
and the episodic stuff made the length feel okay, but sometimes you spend
yeah.
too long in an episode that you don't like, and it's just like, I have to wait.
I mean, honestly, the movie never felt great to me. It was just kind of, I think the episodic structure worked enough where I agree with you. It doesn't I don't normally like it, but it was working for me enough in this movie. Not
Yeah,
in a way that I loved, but it was like it was kind of moving things along, then we would come back to the director and that was engaging. But I just, even throughout, I don't think any like story really felt great to me or any moments really felt that great to me where I was super, like into it
yeah.
versus finding it. Yeah, there are parts like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's kind of
Yeah,
funny. You
the
know?
movie to me is interesting rather than like enjoyable or smart. It's always just like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I
Yeah.
like this. I don't know if I do like this. it's constantly keeping me engaged in that way, not so much storytelling wise, AI wise, or structure wise. It's more just like, huh. Like every time I watch a movie I've never like something I've never seen before that's blowing it out of the water in that regard. It's always making me question things like, oh, why do I like this in this way? I mostly like this movie because it's interesting, and then everything else is just kind of subpar, and it's just like okay, whatever. But because it's interesting constantly with whatever it is, like there's just a million weird things in this movie. It's like it feels epic to me.
Yeah.
Like to me, this movie feels
Yeah,
epic. It's just like,
I
oh,
wonder what the budget is because I could understand anything, but
yeah,
the
I would. I'll look
I
that up.
I think it's a smart movie. I think it could have gone farther, where I'm like I like I think it needs to be smarter for it to be great because of what it is, what it's doing.
Yeah.
It is a lot more nuanced than kind of I expected it to be, so I'll give it that, and I was happy and all that. But I think with the runtime and everything, I think there was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but it's still definitely, I think it's a very singular like piece, right? Where like you could put this at a moment in time and we'll look back on it in 50 years. Like I could see that
Oh,
being it, you know.
It's it's also to the point though where it's so singular. If this is ever recreated, it's dumb. Like it's actually
Yeah,
stupid
yeah.
because like Radu Jude got there first, right? He got the using AI in a interesting way to where all these other movies are gonna be like, oh, any other movie using AI is dumb and unforgivable,
Right.
right? Whereas this movie, it's somehow forgivable in the way that Radu Jude's doing it. But if you were to do it again, it's like, oh, that's just an excuse to use AI, and that's very interesting to me. The budget's 1.6 million
1.6 million.
US.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, it's funny because he only got that budget for because the name's Dracula, I bet. It's like you
Well,
can
I
get away
actually
with.
looked. It says 500,000 came from the Romanian National Film Center.
Hmm.
And then additional backing was provided by the Austrian Film Institute, Film Fund of Luxembourg, and Creative Europe Media. So very interesting.
Yeah.
He's getting big donos from the for this. It's not like micro budgeting or using profits from other things. He's getting like large donos or chunks of the budget from like film institutes,
Yeah.
which almost makes you question their logic there, right? Like
Right. To trust. I mean, that requires a lot of trust, right?
it's also like, what do they think the intentions of this film are?
Yeah.
Especially like once you watch what Ryder Jude's saying, right? It's
Right.
like confuses me even more. I'm glad I didn't know any of this before I watched the movie. I think the perception of the movie would have changed probably similarly to you, right? Like, do you think if you
Right.
watched those interviews before, you would view the movie differently?
It's
Because
it's tough because it's so clearly against it, and
yeah,
I still think I think the now where my head is at is I think people are nuanced and he has very nuanced thoughts on it. He probably has an abundance of negative thoughts about AI, and that's what he kind of makes makes a satire, like he
yeah,
chooses to make fun of it, where in reality maybe his thoughts, he also could have some positive thoughts. He just focuses on kind of he thinks it's funny to like make a caricature of this guy, you know what I mean, where like
yeah,
so I think it's I mean I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the ending is what really, I don't know what you thought of the ending, but I really got away from it was that, okay, we're there's all of this um kind of like weird shit, like going on Dracula stuff, and there's AI and everything feels fake and kind of, um, you know, everything's a joke, kind of. and then it's okay, let's focus on like a modern, a real human, going to watch his daughter's like performance at school, and then it's ending on this kind of like real, kind of everyday
Tender.
human kind of,
It's like a tender moment, like
yeah,
especially
like a
like
tender moment.
your heart kind of breaks when it's just like the daughter's embarrassed that he's a garbage man,
Yeah,
and he's like at the fence, and it's like it was a really weird interaction. It feels strange, even though it is tender, and it's probably like one of the most real moments or human moments in the entire film. Still has this strange interaction between this other parent and him
yeah,
across the fence, where he's like, "Why are you standing there?" Right?
yeah.
And he's not immediately telling him, "Oh, you're a garbage man, go step back." It's after the garbage man tells him that his kid's embarrassed, where he's like, "Oh yeah, that's probably right. You should go step back further." Which is like a very weird back and forth between these
Hmm.
two characters. I'm like, "Oh, that's very strange that this guy made an opinion after this guy told him his opinion," which I think is kind of wraps up the film pretty well in a way.
Somehow it does, yeah. I mean, it
Somehow it
but
does.
also I think there was it didn't totally work for me. I think because it's just the rest of the movie being what it is, but like it kind of works, and you're kind of craving something like that. You're kind of craving like a like, you know, a real moment or a tender
It's like a weird cool down after
humanity.
the mayhem scene, like the after the mayhem of the first
Yeah.
almost 3 hours, and then that scene hits you, and you're just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Like it could have
Um
been similar to this like the whole time, and it kind of shows you Radu Jude as like a filmmaker, similar to like
sure.
the opening scene, like the nuance he has as a filmmaker, where he's able to take these quirky moments and make them really like erotic and extreme, and then also being able to use that same quirkiness to make something like tender is like that's like really good versatility in a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder how that works in his non-AI films and his more probably narr. I don't. Do you know much about like is he narratively like straight?
I have no idea.
Like I have no clue.
I could see either.
All I know is that
Probably
all I know
not.
is that all I've known is that Owen Patnode really likes this guy,
Hmm.
and that's all. That's I think he's what introduced me into like even like seeing his films on Letterboxd and adding
Yeah,
them to my watch list. It's like, oh, Owen likes these movies. This is interesting. He's liking a lot of his movies, and then Dracula is like his lowest rated, which is very interesting.
maybe because AI.
Um, so I'm like very interested to like dive into that. And I do agree that the ending is strange and out of nowhere. And I think the director at the end of the film is like, let's leave them with something soft to like
Yeah,
smile
well,
about at the
I
end.
think it's juxtaposing those things where it's like, yeah, like we just made you sit through like 2.5 hours of like kind of fake slop and real slop, and this is a little snippet of what, real filmmaking could be, like a real moment can be, like humanity could be, and then we're gonna end it
Yeah.
there, as like, think about that, which is really smart, but it's
Yeah.
um yeah, I gotta give him props. He really swung for it,
Oh yeah.
um
It's
it's
insane.
bold.
It's a crazy film. Um, and I honestly like outside of this, I don't think I could really explain it to anyone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, right. You gotta
you're not like
watch it.
talking to friends. It's like, oh, have you heard of Dracula's Ratatouille? Let me explain it to you.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a 45-minute conversation, in order to like unpack, like, we barely like scratch the surface of like, we can go dive into like each episode and what it means to the AI thing. Like it's like a study guide
yeah,
of like real versus animated or versus AI cinema. And it's also like, and like you said, it is pretty obvious, like which is cool in its own right, which I think is why it works. If it was like doing some things that
yeah,
like iffy, I think that changes my perception of the whole thing. I think the fact that the AI is so bluntly obvious and at like the weirdest moments. Like the lightning is very AI, is always AI,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
you'll see like a
Or the snow.
scarecrow and it's like moving. Yeah, just like shit like that. It's very interesting. But yeah, check out that movie if you dare, because it's a very bizarre film.
Yeah,
Uh, I wouldn't recommend it to the average Joe, but if you're interested in like the future of cinema, of AI, I feel like this is a big cornerstone film that's not seen
yeah,
probably within like the deeper film community. Radu Jude isn't like a super popular filmmaker by any means. He's in the
yeah.
corner of Romania,
You know what's funny
which is
is
like
Luc Besson had a Dracula movie came out come out around the same time,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
he so people would go into Radu Jude's Dracula thinking they were seeing that one and be like pissed
Oh
off.
man,
Yeah, that was like a
that's
whole thing
hilarious.
that's happening. Which
Oh, like the best thing that could
imagine
happen.
thinking you're going to a real Dracula movie
Oh my gosh.
and watching
Yeah.
it. It's That would
I
be
mean, the first
bizarre.
scene tells you immediately. Like
Yeah,
the first shot of just all
yeah,
the AI, you're just like, oh, this is not your typical whatever.
yeah. Like
I've
what
never
the
seen this
fuck is
before.
going on right now?
Yeah. Okay. That was fun. I had fun watching it. I'm glad we both
Yeah,
decided to sit down and watch that movie. It was kind of last minute.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's get into what else we watched this week. I'll try and be really brief because I watched kind of a lot. I didn't think I did because I've been really busy and I haven't been watching a shit ton.
Hmm.
And I was looking back, I was like, whoa, I actually have seen a lot. Um, I started the week by watching The Big Mouth by Jerry Lewis. Um, I've been watching a Jerry Lewis film every month, and this is probably it's not my least favorite. It's weird because like I'm so used to Jerry Lewis being really weird and quirky with his face, and this is Jerry Lewis playing like the most straight character I've ever seen. Like where he like his character is actually smart. Jerry Lewis plays a lot of
Mm-hmm.
dumb characters,
Hmm.
and I think that's what works for him. And the comedy isn't there as much in this. The comedy's more, and at least in his performance, the comedy's more in like the situation that goes on. Um, and he kind of plays like a really smart, suave guy who's turning into a dumb guy to. It's really strange. It kind of he's fishing on the beach and he sees a guy get washed up on shore and he's like a diamond thief or whatever, and he dies in front of him and he gives him a map to where the diamond is. And so the people that were chasing him are like chasing him because it's revealed that the diamond thief that died on the beach, which is played by Jerry Lewis, is like they look at identical. Of course, Jerry
Yeah,
Lewis
right.
never plays a character. Um, but I mean, from then on, it just like there's all this chaos and it just doesn't really work. There's like a racist scene that I don't really care for, or at least a racist character. He's like playing a Chinese guy and he's clearly white.
Mm.
Whatever. The 60s. And then I watched CoverGirl in theaters. Had a really cool introduction to this by some prominent filmmaker or not filmmakers, film reviewers or film critics here in Austin. Um, and it's funny because in the intro to the movie, because it's a Rita Hayworth, Gene Kelly musical, and they're literally telling us before that this is not like the best movie.
Really?
They're like, this is not the best Rita Hayworth musical. This is not the best Gene Kelly musical. This is not the best Charles Vidor musical. I was just like, so why are we here? Show us one of those.
Yeah, right.
Um, it's all right. It's just so bland and basic, and the biggest thing with musicals is the songs have to be good, right? And the songs are never like appealing, and the set pieces aren't great. Um, I mean, Rita Hayworth is gorgeous, of course, so she kind of carries the whole thing on her back, and she makes some dumbass decisions that always piss me off. It's whatever. It was cool to see in theaters, though. You know, seeing Gene Kelly and Rita Hayworth on the big screen, I'll never complain. Um, then I watched La Promise by the Dardenne brothers. Oh man, I just love the Dardenne brothers, bro. They're just so good. It's a really good film about moral standings of like this father and son who help these immigrants come into Belgium. And it's weird because they're doing a good deed, but they're really rude to these immigrants. And they kind of don't care about their lives. They only care about the rent money that they're paying. And so it's weird because they're like helping them out, but they're also not. And you kind of see the difference between the father and the son. The son who like eventually ends up caring, and the father who is like, why are you caring? Like, stop caring about these people. They're not from this country. Like, stop. And it's a really cool dynamic between those two because you can see the son really loves his father.
Mm.
And it's really rare that he can see his father in like a good mood or whatever. And it becomes a really heartbreaking story. The kid just wants to be a kid, and like the kid that plays him is like forced to be an adult in this situation. He's supposed to be like a landlord and like a handyman, and all he wants to do is go fix his go-kart with his friends, but all this like drama that's happening within the house with the immigrants is like taking time away from his childhood, which is really interesting and sad and bizarre. It's a really intense film that I really liked. And then I watched A Summer's Tale, um, by Eric Romer. Fuck, dude. Eric Romer's the guy. Like, this movie is so romantic, so romantic. There's this like shots of gazes of these people like just looking at this person they're in love with, and your heart just like bleeds. Like it's just like oozing, and you're just like, it's just so romantic. It just sucks that the ending isn't what you want it to be, and it's just like, oh no, you had a chance to be great and like a masterpiece. I was at moments like the first half of this movie, I was like, man, I'm finally watching a 5-star movie. I'm finally watching a new 5-star. And then some things happen towards the tail end where you're like, oh come on, Romero, like there's an opportunity right there to be perfect, and just kind of makes these dumb decisions, which is fine because I guess you're like kind of playing to the character. Um, but it's not my favorite. And the acting performances are great. The just like strolling on the beach talking monologues are amazing. And it follows this guy who's in love with this girl who doesn't love him back. And he's waiting for her at this vacation spot and she's never showing up. So he befriends this girl on the beach, played by Amanda Langlet, who's gorgeous. She's like the prettiest girl I've ever seen on screen. She's so cute and just has this charisma on screen. You just immediately just want him to be like, pick her, please. And then he's falling in love with her, but then another girl comes in the picture. So the whole movie, he's like juggling three girls' emotions. Um, so yeah, it's insane. It's so well shot. And then I watched Unfriended in 35 millimeter in the theaters. I was sitting front row, so my neck was like, and it's a huge screen, and the theater was shaking. It's a really loud film
Mm.
and really intense, and it's really fun. It's funny. It's like the funniest movie I've seen all year, and it's in a horror movie, which often is the case. Horror movies can be really funny,
Yeah.
especially a film like this. And this is like one of the first like on-screen horrors, like where the entire movie takes place on the screen. It's like they're all Skyping. It's very Facebook driven. You don't know if it's a demon or a person, and it's really cool. Some character choices are really cool, and there's really cool like character plot twists. It all deals with a classmate of theirs in high school that killed themselves, and throughout the movie, you get to see the role that these people that were her friends had in her suicide, and the kind of person torturing them is texting them on the dead girl's Facebook. And it's like, I've come for you. I know your secrets. And it's kind of like explaining these secrets little by little. And these friends start trusting each other less and less. And it's just like insane. It blows it out of the water. It's the best on-screen horror probably I've ever seen, which I'm not a huge fan of. I wasn't a big fan of Host, but it was really good. And then I watched Grass by Hong Sang-soo. Um, I don't know. This is like really minor, probably in my idea because it's not doing much. Whereas like in water, it's doing something cool with the fully out of focus. Nobody's Daughter is doing some great character work. Um, this just kind of feels really bland all the way through. I'm just like, okay, it's not doing anything special, and the stories that are being told aren't really interesting. It's shot really well, acting's good, and I had a fine time watching it. Just didn't like give me anything new. It didn't teach me anything new about Hong Sang-soo, which I've always had the experience of because all his movies are so unplanned that there's always something new. Whereas it's like, oh, this feels so basic and probably too planned in a way. That didn't really work. Um, he loves his soju, man. They're always drinking
Mhm.
soju in his movies.
Soju is
And then
so good.
I watched Minions and Monsters in the theaters, which I don't really want to talk about because it's ass. I do love a lot of the references early
We
on. I
could
think
talk
it's
about it
like,
real quick.
yeah, we can talk
Yeah.
about it. It's kind of cool the references. Like it's kind of like, oh, there's Buster Keaton. Oh,
Yeah.
there's Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
Um, oh, there's the Lumiere factory.
Yeah.
It's just like all
I
this like
mean,
cool stuff.
when
Oh,
it's
there's Babylon.
so Babylon was it was like the party, right?
Yeah, the party with the elephants, and they're like
Okay.
riding the elephants
Yeah,
at the
that's what I
party, and
thought. But I
yeah.
thought it was gonna be, I don't know why, but I thought it was gonna be like the movie theater like montage or something. Like I had that in my
Mm.
brain because I don't know, I just kind of assume, I don't know why. But or like
All
the
these people are, oh, is Avatar in it? Like, imagine the Babylon reference is just Avatar. It's
yeah,
like they're referencing a reference.
that would have been great.
I
I
mean,
liked how it
they kind of
starts.
they kind of do a Babylon montage at the beginning, right? Of just all these
Yeah,
films.
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I like the beginning how they do the Universal logo and it goes all the way back, and then it starts. And I'm like,
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes of this movie, I was having a great time. I actually even like when they're going through each villain and they're kind of like shuffling through and like finding new like villains. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. Like, and they're doing like movie references and like, I'm like having a good time. Like the rosebud poop thing, I'm like, I can get behind this,
Yeah.
for the most part. And then but then just some headache started forming. And it just
Dude, it's
wouldn't
the Goomy stuff,
stop.
bro. The Goomy stuff sucks.
Yeah, well,
Goomy is a horrible villain.
so it is, but it's voiced by Trey Parker, and so it was kind of
Yeah.
funny because I would just hear like the South Park character, like
Yeah.
I was listening to him. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like I don't care, I don't care. Go back to the movie stuff.
And his whole arc is like really short.
Yeah,
Like not much happens. It's like really strange.
it's just like
And like the
weird.
minions just get really annoying. And I've actually noticed more in this film than like either Minions or Rise of Gru, where like they're trying really hard to make them like where you can understand them, right? Where they're like saying
Yeah,
stuff
yeah. I mean, they're
really
speaking
obvious,
like
like English or
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know
a
they
lot of
spoke
it's Spanish.
Spanish. I was like, holy shit! Like a lot of this is just
Yeah, yeah.
Spanish.
Like
And
they'll be like for it, this is good. They'll be like te
yeah,
gusta, and it's just like really obvious. And I'm just like, I don't know if I like the minions speaking Spanish very obviously. I kind of like the
it's kind
clever
of weird.
clabber.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And then the whole Jesse Eisenberg side plot thing was really strange. I was like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going on? Like,
and
is this guy actually an alien? And then he's like an actual
yeah,
alien. And
right.
I'm like, what? This is, and you don't see if you don't even see his like romantic relationship even like come to a
So that
finale. I
was,
was like,
I kind of like that he's like a real alien. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. But the Zoe Dutch plays the girlfriend, and she's like barely like, what's she's just there for like the joke that like she's into him or something. I'm like,
yeah,
bro, that's Zoe
yeah,
Dutch. Like, let's do
yeah,
something.
like
Come on.
yeah, dude, I don't know. The movie's pretty. I don't know. Oh my gosh, the most annoying part of my thing. I watched it in a pretty packed theater, and I sat right next to a couple. They were probably late 20s, early 30s, and I just felt like this couple like just met because they're really all over each other. Like they're
Mm.
like she's clinging onto his arm, and every single time the minions spoke,
They
they would
laugh.
look at each other and laugh. and it just like pissed me off. I'm just like, there's no way you're laughing at
Having
this.
too
There's
good of
no
a
way.
time in Minions and Monsters.
Yeah, they're just like they're loving everything. They're loving like the minions are so loved. Like I like the minions. I know Luke hates them. I like the
Not a
minions.
fan.
I like the Despicable Me's. But I think they work better in a smaller role, like in the Despicable
Yeah,
Me's.
yeah, yeah. I can't
Being the
like. Oh my god, it's just like there's so much Minions. I'm just getting I'm getting a headache. Like I was begging for it to be like I was so trying. Like I actually came into this super optimistic. Like I was excited. Buster Keaton's in it. I'm excited, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong about the Minions. Like I could see this as like some physical comedy kind of funny movie. Like maybe I was just being stupid, like weird in the past. And I kind of was agreeing with that for the first 20 minutes. But then I'm like, no, I'm seriously like this is torture, kind of. Like it's so hard to sit through. It's like,
Well, this is your favorite Minions movie, right?
yeah, yeah.
They're slowly getting better. It went from a half star to a 1 star to a 1.5.
Well,
Maybe
unless they
maybe
have
Minions 10
Buster
is
Keaton in
5 star.
the next one, I don't think it's going up from here.
I think Minions 10 might be a 5 star for you, Luke. You got to look out in 20
Hey,
years.
we'll see.
Slowly
We'll
increasing.
see. One can dream.
Uh, the funniest part of the movie was the after credit scene with Gru. I think that's the funniest thing in the entire movie.
I
And I'm
didn't
just like,
watch
this
that.
is how
I left.
they're literally like it's just two minions and they're looking at the spell book and they have like an animal and they're like penguin Gru and it'll be like a penguin with Gru's face and it'll be like piggy Gru and it'll just turn into a pig with Gru's face and then Gru walks up behind them and he's like watching them laughing at all the different animals that they're putting Gru's face on and he goes ha hum and they look around and then they're like really scared and then they say a weird gibberish and then Gru's naked
What?
and he just like
Why?
Gru's naked and then he's like covering his Johnson and just runs away. I was like,
Johnson.
okay. I love Gru. Gru's like the best. But yeah, not a fun movie. And then I chased it with The Invite the next day in theaters, which is my favorite movie of the year so far, past Disclosure Day. It's so good. It's so well written. Olivia Wilde goes insane directing. Like she's doing some crazy blocking Alfred Hitchcock shit. And I'm just like, holy fuck, dude. She's going insane because it's all one location, all one night, four characters. It's all you have. There's no other cast. And Seth Rogen is amazing in it. Olivia Wilde's really interesting. Edward Norton's like really suave and Penelope Cruz is sexy as hell and it like the way that the movie progresses is really smart and I don't it's a really good movie. We'll probably talk about it next week a little bit more, but just to get you guys excited, I know I saw it a week earlier than like the wide release, but holy fuck. Like it met my expectations. I knew I was really going to like this and it's really good. Then I rewatched The Backrooms for the third time. I watched the Everything Must Go edition with 15 minutes extra footage. I was
Yes.
really disappointed because I thought it was like a director's cut where the 15 minutes is like in the movie. It's an after credit 15-minute
Oh,
sequence.
what? That's so lame.
Um, I know. The whole time, me and my friend were just looking over each other. It's like nothing's changed. What's going on?
Yeah.
But the after credit sequence is really good, and it made me think about this whole movie should have been focused on async because the whole after credit scene is async researching some anomalies and Kane Parsons even is like a voice actor where he's like talking about oh we measure it's like very scientific and like shows how nerdy Kane is which he's a very nerdy kid.
Hmm.
He's like we measured the difference between this anomaly and this anomaly and we saw the difference between this and then it turns into a horror and it kind of leads into the first opening scene of how that guy got there
Hmm.
basically of how he got away from the
It
group
should have.
which is
Do you
really
think it should have like started with that then?
yeah, I think the whole movie should be focused on async finding the back rooms and researching it and all camcorder
Right.
footage and horror. Like I think it
Right.
works way better with the IP. Like that's why people fell in love with the back rooms, right?
Yeah.
Um, then I watched Independence Day, which is absolute ass. Hate this movie. It's like the I knew I wasn't gonna like it. It's like everything I don't like about movies, just straight action. Like, wait, I don't like the aliens. I don't. Will Smith is horrible acting in this. Bill Pullman's the most interesting part of this movie. I don't know. It's really bad disaster movie. And then I watched Maddie's Secret yesterday, live Q&A with John Early. I was very skeptical coming into this movie. I didn't know how I felt a guy playing a girl. Um, but with the Q&A, I love John Early. He's really funny in person. Um, but the movie's just kind of whatever. It's actually a very singular movie. I've never seen a movie like it. It's very weird and strange. But then towards the tail end, it starts hitting some like cliches, like the trio girls that are really rude and they become nice. It's just like, oh, we've seen this a million times. Not a great script, not really good directing, but that's like John Early's directorial debut, and he's on front of the screen. I can't really knock him too bad, but yeah, that's what I watched this week.
Cool. Okay, I had a I'll call it a Buster Keaton week because almost everything I watched was either Buster Keaton or inspired by Buster Keaton or influenced in some way. Um, I watched Hard Luck, which is an early Keaton. Um, that's I feel like underrated. Like it's really good. Yeah, I mean it's I'm just loving. I just don't. I could just watch Keaton shorts forever. Like they're just such a great time. Like I seriously never get sick of them. Um, that's something good one. Not my favorite, but then I watched Jackass, best and last in theaters, last Jackass, which I'm like a moderate fan of Jackass. I definitely watched them when I was younger, and so I have like a little. Obviously, I'm not old enough to be there at the start, but um, I'm a fan. I don't like the poop stuff. This is the worst Jackass, I think, because it's mostly all old clips from Jackass, which are great. I mean, it pulls a lot of great stuff. I mean, it starts with the bit of Johnny Knoxville shooting himself with a real gun in the chest, wearing a bulletproof vest, which is like the thing that's launched Jackass. Which is, and then there's some funny stuff, but then there's literally the grossest thing I've ever seen, which I think is one of the new ones that are there. It's seriously like absolutely repulsive. Just like I don't get anything from it. Like I there's some like my friend was like, dude, you were like wincing, like you couldn't watch that one. I was like, yeah, that was fucking horrible. It's basically it's just a lot of poop. I'll say that. I mean, it's kind of famous. It's kind of going viral. Um, yeah, and like the new stuff in it is just kind of a lot of like butt and poop stuff, and like a lot of like old clips are just like poop stuff, which is the stuff I don't like as much because that's just gross. Um, but I don't know. My favorite one might be the um night vision goggles rattlesnake prank. That one makes me laugh a lot. And so the producers at the in the credits have a thank you to Buster Keaton. And there's in Jackass 3 they did the Steamboat Bill Jr. house, falling.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Then I watched, not related to Buster Keaton, watched Disclosure Day again. It's great. I mean, we did an episode on it. Go listen to it. But I mean I got a lot more out of. I didn't realize they literally said World War III is going on, which I was picking up more on that, and then the news said that like North Korea kind of like started it, like World War III actually, and then like it makes sense of there's a Korean person, that Emily Blunt helps translate at the beginning, and I think she even says like is he okay, and she's like no, he's from South Korea, of course he's not okay, and so he's like building like a World War III in the back pretty consistently, which is great. It's so great. It's so great. Um, then I rewatched Cops. Just so great. um,
I
yeah,
love cops.
yeah. Um, Yeah, it's so funny, just like how many cops he got. Yeah, there's so many cops, so
Just
many
picking
cops.
anyone, everyone off the street to just dress up as a cop and chase
Yeah,
him.
yeah, exactly. There's like a part that always makes me laugh where he's trying to like put a vase in a suitcase and he's like trying to clip both sides and then he just like stomps on it and just like breaks the vase. Doesn't sound funny when you explain it. You got to be there. And then I watched The Family Jewels. We'll talk about that. Minions and Monsters. We talked about Buster Keaton relating to that. I rewatched 1 Week by Buster Keaton, which was like my least favorite of his for a long time, and now it's like one of my favorites. I think that
So
it's
good.
just like nonstop, like really incredible, filmmaking. I love kind of the image of like the calendar passing through the week, and just and the house allows for so much.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Great, brilliant comedy. Um, then I watched Dracula, and then today I watched Tongues Untied, which is I wanted to watch it in June. I was like that was the one thing I wanted to watch like for Pride Month was this, and then I didn't. But I and it's only an hour. It's kind of I don't know why I didn't, but I've been wanting to watch this for a long time, and it is really exceptional, like really incredible. Um, it's kind of a film essay type of movie, kind of um it's got some really really incredible editing and sound design, especially with the editing. Like if anyone's interested in film editing or wants something to study, like that's a good text series. It's that good. um they do like some lessons on snapology. It's kind of about being a voice for gay black men. It came out in 1989, and so there's a lot of poetry recited to the camera and kind of takes a very interesting structure, and it's really funny and really smart and interesting. I highly highly recommend it, and that's all I want. That's all I watched, but I recommended Spider-Man. So talk about Spidey.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just really cool. I haven't seen this in forever. I don't remember a lot of it, but there's like
Good.
things where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I forgot J.K. Simmons is in this. Oh my
Really?
gosh, I forgot how pretty Kirsten Dunst is. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, um forgot James Franco's in this and he looks really good, and forgot Willem Dafoe is great, and I don't know, everything just started clicking together and it's like I love this movie so much. It just feels like a comfort movie I'll show my kids, and I don't know. There's just so much great stuff. I love it. It does feel very comic booky, like you said. Um, I love how kind of small scale it is, and I like how quick Spider-Man, or how quick Peter Parker gets his powers, and how quick Uncle Ben dies, and how quick he figures out how to use his powers, and it's just like everything's just fitting into place, and it kind of has that great. I just love come up stories, and I just love how he's the nerdy kid off the bat, and he's just quickly like the cool ripped guy now that's beating up the bully, and it's just like all those like stereotypical things that you've seen since Spider-Man, or like even before then. It just does it the best. It's just like so good. The rain kissing scene upside down is great. The ending I did not remember. I did not
Oh,
remember
really?
him rejecting MJ when she says "I love you." I didn't
Oh,
remember. I didn't remember her actually falling in love with Peter Parker. For some reason, I remembered her falling in love with
mm,
Spider-Man, and then he reveals himself, um, which kind of feels like a cop out. And I'm glad it didn't do that. Like I'm glad that she loves him, and he kind of realizes that anyone close to him gets hurt, and so he just is kind of pushing her away. I do remember James Franco's character becoming a villain, but I guess that's in the second one.
third, I'm
Because
pretty sure.
the third one, oh shit, okay, in the third one,
Yes.
um,
Unless I'm mixing up,
yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it's the third.
yeah. Um, And it's making me realize I have no recollection of the second one. Like I have no clue what the second one is. I don't
Like
even know who the villain is.
really? Do you want me
I
to tell
Yeah,
you?
don't
Oh,
no,
okay.
don't tell me. I want to just I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Is it
I
not
just
on the
want to like
poster? I feel like it's on the poster. Like it's
no,
it's a pretty big.
I know that people like Spider-Man 2 more than Spider-Man 1,
Yeah.
and so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm like in for a treat. I'm so glad I don't
Yeah.
remember these movies. I'm so glad I don't remember. And
Yeah, me too.
it's weird because it's like I don't remember, but I still have nostalgia. It's like
Mm.
the strangest
It
relationship.
feels nostalgic. I mean,
Yeah.
the aura of the movie, like it's so beautiful too. Like the
Oh,
aesthetic,
the P
you know,
I love this. I love Spider-Man swinging. The shit
isn't that
that
so
Sam Raimi is doing.
crazy at that
The
time?
POV shits, the end sequence of him just going through and just like how the camera's moving. I'm just like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is
it's
going
fucking
on?
nuts.
Like this is how Spider-Man should move, and I'm just like, man, Tom Holland is like the lamest. Tobey
Hey, we'll
Maguire is
see.
the
We'll
best.
see. Two
We'll see
weeks.
with Brandon Day.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it's so good. It's timeless. It just feels like this movie could last forever. And it again, it's shot really well by Sam Raimi, and I don't know, Tobey Maguire's like really charming in it.
I think Tobey
Aunt May,
Maguire is one of the greatest casting decisions of all time as Spider-Man because
yeah,
not because he's such like because kind of you said it's like the nerd becoming a superhero, right? And that's kind of what makes Spider-Man appealing. Um, like he's such an underdog at like nerd, but also he's poor and has this knows parents and that whole thing. Um, but even when he's cool and trying to fight him, he still is Toby Maguire, and he has this Toby
yeah,
Maguire-ness to him that has such a insane performance. Like some like
yeah.
really, really interesting, when he's in
I
the
like.
boxing ring or some shit.
There's a part where he saves MJ from falling, and then he like drops her off in this like flower field, and then
Mm,
he's webbing away, and you can hear in the distance. It's not really in your face. He's really happy. He's like, like as he's going away. And in the newer like Tom Holland ones, that's like accentuated, right? Like you'll see him a lot. Like you'll see Tom Holland Spider-Man having like a lot of fun, right? Just going
mm,
through and he's like a lot. And in this one, it's not like as explicitly shown, but it's like he's still having fun webbing, even though it's not like blatantly shown to you all the time
mm.
how like fun it is. I like that. I
That's
like how like
interesting.
in your
I've never thought about
face.
it like that.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's really cool. And MJ kind of like MJ's gorgeous, dude. Kirsten Dunst
Yeah,
is gorgeous.
so
She's
good in the
insane.
movie. She's so
And I'm
good.
just like the whole time I was just like jealous of Jesse Plemons. Like I was just like
Right. And James
just Jesse
Franco,
Plemons.
maybe as controversial as it is, beautiful man in
Oh,
these.
he's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Beautiful. I was just like, oh, and he has a really good acting scene too when Willem
yeah,
Dafoe
I like
hugs
him.
him.
Yeah, yeah, like
I'm
the
just like,
father
oh,
son thing is so cool.
it's
Yeah,
so good. And then I mean, the controversy of Spider-Man is there. Um,
right.
I don't like how everyone's quick to blame. It's kind of it gets annoying to a point where it kind of feels forced at moments, especially like J.K. Simmons' character. Like as soon as Green Goblin cuts down or shuts like bolts into his office, and then Spider-Man's there, he's just, I knew you guys were together. It's just like he's obviously there to defend you, dumbass. And then like the end moment when Green Goblin dies, and Spider-Man drops him off in the bed, and James Franco's character comes in and he's like, "What'd you do to him?" Like it's like the first thing that he says. He's a superhero, bro. Like come on. Like everyone like I don't know, I guess it's all publication thing, but at times it does feel forced at moments to like push plot a little bit. It's not a perfect movie, but I love it so much. And it's great. I haven't logged it, but I will tell you my score. I'm giving it 4 stars.
Nice word.
Okay. What about Family Jewels?
Family
Because what
jewels.
what do you think of Donna Butterworth, who was in my family
Yeah,
for a little
so
bit?
that's actually funny because from you talking about it, I don't know why, bad math on my part, I thought it would be like an older woman. Like,
No.
Like I was just like, oh, so
He
they
was older
dated.
when
So I know, I
he was
know.
like
I just like
60s.
you saying that. I don't know why. So I was like, oh, is there gonna? I was like, oh, okay. I'm low
This
key
is the
dumb. I
girl.
don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no, she's great. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a cute kid performance. The movie's very funny.
It's
It's
so hilarious, bro.
it. I think, yeah. I mean, I think it's just like obviously funny. It's a good time. I think I instantly started laughing when he like opens the door on one of the lawyers, and the lawyers just sticks to the door and is like sitting on the door handle,
Yeah, with
like
the cigar. Yeah, the
yeah,
cigar stick to the door.
and he's like in that position for so long, and they're just staring at him, and it just holds him there. It's so funny. Oh man,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean I think my favorite. So it's like this little girl has to choose between her five uncles to be her new dad, and there's a big fortune, and so they all have, maybe bad intentions or not. Um, I like. I kind of wish there was more from the clown, because I think that was funny. That was a funny guy. He's like in it for like 2 minutes, and he dips, which works out, and it's very smart actually. But I kind of like wanted to like I don't know, I want like more like clown shit, or
Just an
like
ass. Yeah, he's just an
yeah,
asshole.
he's just an asshole. And same with the fisherman.
He's
Fisherman,
my least favorite.
yeah, I wish he was like funnier. I really like his like he looks like a cartoon character with like the fisherman mustache where you can't see his mouth move. Like I'm like that's
Yeah.
so good. Like that's a this guy's a filmmaker,
And it shows Jerry Lewis's like versatility. Like he's able to play that old fisherman. He's able to play
Yeah, yeah.
the chauffeur who's great and charming and
This is
obviously the
every
right choice.
character, yeah.
And okay, I think the best way to talk about this, I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite moments, and I want to know what you think about it.
Sure.
I'll start with the pilot,
Yeah,
and
that's
this is the thing I was saying with my family does this is we walk around the walls sometimes, like we walk right on the border of the walls, and we'll go around every corner like very dramatically instead of
mm,
walking like straight to the door. Like we'll just like my mom would be like, "Okay, it's time to go to church, right?" I'll get up from the couch, I'll walk around the couch, I'll get to the wall, and like we just do that all the time, and it's so funny because when he walks around the plane, he just goes directly around the plane. He comes
right.
right back, and he has the outfit, and then he takes these old ladies and
Yeah.
their baggage drop. It's just so I just love the pilot. He's
Yeah.
so fun.
So the pilot is my favorite part. So,
Really,
yeah. I don't think there is
really,
like a I think that was the best like bit per minute,
yeah.
stuff going on. I don't know
I
if it's
like the
where
milk
I
sequence.
the
The milk
what?
sequence. The milk sequence with the photographer.
Oh,
He's
right.
just spooning
Yeah,
milk
yeah,
into her
yeah.
mouth.
Right, right.
There's a couple over there just burning with the light. He's like changing. He's like dramatically changing the background. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this won't work." He ends up on the white wall,
And he
just like the big wall.
yeah, that I love that like set piece. It's like blow up, like Antonioni's blow up, and he's like the kind of photographer, and he's like with this couple and puts the light on him and it like melts them, and it's very silly. But no, the pilot I just think is just exceptional. Like I'm just like
He's
that is,
so good.
and the old lady's kind of like the one that has a crush on him, and one of them's like breaking the fourth
Yeah,
wall, and
yeah.
it's yeah, the luggage just immediately goes out, and you're just like, I kind of don't know how he filmed the plane stuff because it looked pretty real.
Oh yeah,
um
it's for sure. Right?
but I'm like, damn, that plane like really, because the way the plane's like taking off, it's like that shit looks like it's gonna crash. I don't know
I like how
that.
they land and we are in Chicago, and they're like where they started.
Yeah,
It's like
it's so
it's
funny.
like it's like the crappiest plane too. I also love when the chauffeur is smoking a cigarette and he's walking back and forth, and it cuts back and he's created a divot in the grass where you can't even see him anymore.
Mm,
Like he's just in the grass. Like he's just in this hilarious. I love the
yeah.
gas station scene with the paint and like just them fucking up the car constantly,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like he doesn't know how to pump gas, and it's
yeah.
just hilarious.
He's
I
like
love the
put in
pool
charge of
sequence.
everything.
The
Yeah.
pool sequence is my
When he's
favorite
like
sequence.
shuffling the pool stick, that did
And
make
then he
me
just like
laugh.
just drops it, and then he
Yeah,
like hits every single
it was
ball,
really
which
good.
she actually did, which is
And
so
and the
crazy.
whole time, like the little girl's like in the next room, and he's like he just starts up, he abandons the whole point of the mission, and
Yeah.
he's just there to
And
play pool.
I just love the two guys, like the really skinny guy and the fat guy, and they're just sitting there. I
Yeah,
just love like their performance of just sitting there and just like watching him and just like stunned how dumb he looks, and they bet all the money, but then he's like really good at pool,
yeah.
and it's like really funny. I love the gangster guy. He opens up his trench coat and he pulls out a million weapons, or the army sequence where he's just yelling a bunch of and then they're like moving in this direction.
Hmm.
It's like constantly funny. What do you think of Jerry Lewis as a first time watcher of him? Because he's a performer, dude. He's so insane.
Yeah, I mean, it was what I expected. It was great. Kind of like I had high expectations, so it wasn't, but they were met. So that's always nice, especially when it's a film of his that's less appreciated, right? Not as talked about as his bigger ones, and it's this good. It's kind of like it's very exciting. So that's fun. I my only thing I was worried about in the movie where I was like, I think there's just this through line that's a little like, oh, I don't know. It's like instantly it's kind of like the chauffeur and the girl are gonna end up together, and I'm just kind of like waiting for that at the
Yeah.
end, and I'm just like, and also like the set design is so beautiful, like the last moment and how it's
Oh yeah.
shot, it's going through. But what saved it um was how he used like the absence of the clown and kind of misguided a little bit towards the end to bring it back in, and then me it was working where I felt it felt very sweet and very like sincere,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
that's like, oh, that's very sweet, and it was smart. And so I was like, okay, think and I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy that worked out, because I
Yeah.
if it was like so easy, I would have been like maybe a little bothered. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I didn't. I wasn't.
Love that panning shot where you see all the uncles and it's all of
Hmm.
him. I just love that. And you see
Yeah.
the empty seat, and he's like introing each one that you got to spend time with, and they're all just kind of anxious there. Especially this, that's my favorite part of the Sailorman,
Hmm.
of like him there, and he's like kind of the sweetest out of all of them.
No, yeah, yeah.
And he's
He's
just kind
like
of
the
sitting
real
there.
one.
You can tell that he really wants to be there.
Hmm.
The gangster's kind of funny that he's there.
Yeah, he's
Like he
locked
knows he
up.
doesn't, he doesn't have a shot. I like when he's he's always trying to kill the chauffeur, or
Right.
and like he has all these different knives,
Right.
and he's
Yeah, yeah,
like the way he's holding it, and then he like throws it, and like the sound design is really good. I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like the most nostalgic movie ever,
yeah. Right.
and I'm so glad I
I
got
mean,
to.
so it kind of both Spider-Man is probably like the most nostalgic movie for me.
Yeah,
You know.
which is like how these recommendations always pan out. It always somehow relates to both of us in a similar way, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm glad you liked it. You think you're gonna get more into Jerry Lewis after
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Um
I mean, you're watching a lot of Keaton. It's kind of like hand in hand.
so that was another Buster Keaton inspired. I was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
having a big Buster Keaton week. It's so great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm really into these like comedies right now,
Yeah. And I'm watching a lot of horror right now,
so we're
which
kind
is,
of switch.
yeah, stuff I usually don't like.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do you know what you're gonna recommend?
I
I didn't
know.
even think about this.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll I'll give you it because like I said, I'm kind of going off of our episodes, and this one I actually thought about recommending you last week, and so this is really perfect. I'm recommending you Dracula, but the
Bram
19
Stoker's.
no, the 1958 Terrence Fisher Dracula.
Huh?
starring Christopher Lee as Count Dracula.
Okay.
Yeah,
For
it's
some reason, I'm surprised you didn't recommend me
Coppola.
The Coppola one because I haven't seen that.
I didn't know you hadn't
Okay.
seen that. I probably would have in hindsight, but this is maybe a cooler one you maybe like wouldn't watch, like wouldn't
Yeah.
prioritize as much as like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bram Stoker's, that's a pretty big one like everyone has to get to at some point.
Yeah. I'm
Um
watching that this October.
yeah, this Dracula is like I watched it some October. I mean, I love watching all, Dracula, all monster movie. I'm just that's my shit. This one particularly was a huge surprise in how much I loved it, just aesthetically and stylistically. Not as much of doing anything super different with the story, but just kind of how much of a blast it is, and
Yeah.
it's really beautiful, and just kind of it's there's so many adaptations. It's just not talked about as much.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really underrated one.
Cool. I'm excited. I'm kind of I had no clue I was gonna wreck you, but I think I'll just recommend this to you because I think it's about time that you watch this movie, and I know you've wanted to
About
watch
time.
it, and it's making you curious. Yeah, no. Um, I know you um you just watched Witness for the Prosecution, and so it reminded me of that when you said you love courtroom dramas. It's
Yeah.
not to like say this is a courtroom drama, but
Oh.
it starts out like that. It's modern. So I'm recommending you Red Rooms. So I'm finally forcing you to
Yeah.
watch this shit. And it's an insanely eerie movie and really important. It blew my socks off. Um, really well acted. It's a great movie to watch at night. Like I would
Hmm.
recommend watching this at night. Because it's just really crazy. I think when you watch this, you'll be like, "Oh, this makes sense why Eli gives this 4.5." It's so insane. I think it's my favorite of 2024. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for you to finally watch this because I know we've talked about it every now and then.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a big one.
and it's a really insane movie, French Canadian film. So yeah, I'm not gonna really say anything because the way it goes, it deals with the black market basically or the dark web,
Hmm.
right? Red rooms are famous. Um, People don't know if they're real or not. So
Mm,
this is kind of like
okay.
a cool thing of like making it real.
Yeah,
Like
like
what if the red
conspiracy.
rooms were real?
Right,
And
right.
it's like
That's always fun.
really fucked up.
Kind of like
It's like
Disclosure Day.
really... Also, the main actress is really interesting because like she's like a model, but like the things that she's interested in are like really dark,
Mm,
and she's like into gambling and I
okay.
don't know. The whole last sequence is insane. Like I'm just like,
Okay.
what? I was like, I think I cried watching this movie. Just how bleak it is. I was just like, I
Damn.
can't believe that there's actually people in the world that are actually like this. Even if the red rooms aren't real, there's some sick people in this world, and there's some sick people online that you may never know are like that. And it kind of puts you like, in a position where you're like, oh, like it kind of reminds you that there's people like this, and you're just
Yeah.
like, that's really fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for you to watch this. You gave me a horror-ish movie, so I was just like, you know what,
Okay.
Red Rooms, it's not horror, but it's like a really good thriller.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah,
excited.
I'm excited. I definitely need to be forced to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Next week we're talking about The Invite, probably, or Evil Dead Burn. Maybe both, maybe one of them. We'll see. Yeah. Next week, episode 21, 22.